Approaching the velvet rope that marked the entranceway, I looked up and down the busy block. I wanted to make sure the shadowy cyclops who owned the limelight wasn't at the front door. There was no need to worry. New York's most powerful nightclub magnate, Peter Gatien, nearly always stayed away on Wednesday nights. I was in a peculiar situation. At the same time I was engaged in reporting the Kay story, I was also writing a profile of the club's owner. If Gatien found out I was using the privileges he'd given me to roam his nocturnal domain in order to research a story about drugs, he'd have burst a blood vessel. The red rope parted, and I made my way past the rabbit-costumed ticket-taker and into an antechamber, where a gaggle of genderless figures sprawled sacrilegiously on the church pews that doubled as couches. They were lazily emptying a vial of white powder onto a small mirror and using a credit card to cut up the crystals. The nearby bouncers said nothing. I stepped over the prostrate body of a comatose partygoer and followed the throng into a vast main hall, where I was met by a scene of shameless exhibitionism, the likes of which New York hadn't seen since the pre-AIDS golden days of Studio 54. Beneath the fluted arches and wooden rafters, 3,000 nocturnal freaks of a feather flocked together in various states of astonishment, inebriation, and erotic assembly. The club swarmed with sideshow oddities, a pandemonium of dope fiends, gender benders, and all-purpose weirdos dressed to excess. If I couldn't find Kay here, then where else? The theme for the night was gore. The king of the club kids, Michael Alig, was celebrating his 30th birthday with a campy party called Blood Feast, named after an obscure, particularly gory slasher movie in Alig's favourite cinematic genre. Many of the club kids came covered in raw liver and slabs of beef that turned rancid under the bright spotlights. I gingerly stepped around puddles of blood, trying to spare my new suit. Emerging from the throng, I spied the party's host, the effects of too many late nights writ large on his sagging face. He was dressed like a cross between Shirley Temple and Boy George. Alig was surrounded by the usual cast of saucer-eyed hangers-on, who shrieked like overheated tea kettles at whatever witticism dropped from their leader's lips. Ever the good host, Alig, a thick wad of drink tickets in one hand, wobbled over on unsteady heels to greet me. His mascara was running, and his lipstick was smeared. Spots of animal blood stained his shirt. "Hello, Michael," I said. "Happy birthday." "Nice party." "Thanks. Here, make a fist." He screwed the top off a brown bottle. A jittery limb poured what looked like a full gram of powder onto the back of my hand. Most of it fell off the edge. I licked the edge of my hand. I could tell it was cocaine. "Listen, I've got to go, Michael. I've got to find some Kay. If you see this guy with big fluffy wings walking around, ask him." With renewed energy, I travelled onward, climbing up metal staircases, down darkened corridors, scouring every corner of the maze-like club, pestering one known dealer after another. "Got any Kay? Got any Kay?" But to no avail. And then, as if in a vision, he appeared out of the crowd. A striking figure dressed in a white leather biker outfit, with billowing theatrical wings sprouting out of his back, which dislodged a drag queen's wig as he passed. My junkie escort for the evening, who claimed he was the master of the necessary protocol, introduced us. "This is Frank Owen from the Village Voice. He wants to try some special Kay." "I hope he has money," the winged man said with a scowl. "No discounts for journalists," he sternly told me, as I fumbled in my pocket, wondering how I was going to expense this without a receipt. The dope peddler's name was Angel, née André Melendez, a 26-year-old Colombian-born club kid who came to New York with dreams of becoming an actor and a filmmaker, but fell in with a racy nightlife crowd of jaded pop culture junkies and became a full-time scene maker instead. Angel was one of the Limelight's notorious celebrity drug dealers, those flamboyantly attired figures, part party promoter, part pusher, who made no attempt to disguise their illegal vocation, indeed acted as if what they were doing was perfectly within the law. And tonight, he was my seraphic facilitator into the half-magical, half-terrible realm of the K-hole. Special K was an odd substance to discover within the confines of a disco. After all, the last thing you could do on ketamine was move your body to the beat. Unlike cocaine, it didn't make you